bring in their money to give and to help the economy. People have more money. There wouldn't be that this year to an extent, simply because if you go to UK, it's not easy there. Inflation there is 40-year high. You go to America, so virtually the Western world are having challenge of inflation. That is going to trickle down to people that would like it, so they may not even come. Perhaps if they eventually come, they will be careful what they spend. So definitely it's going to reduce what we have in circulation.
And what do you think about well, just finish.
Yes, and locally, maybe you want to talk about locally, purchasing power is also a problem, because if you look at this year generally, people have really have it very, very hard because of purchasing power. Inflation is rising, and it is majorly food driven inflation. So because of that, people will find it difficult to spend more than this yearly tide.
But don't you think that the new naira will be won't it be an attraction?
Well, definitely it will be an attraction,
because, but they will be eager to have the new naira and even spend it.
Don't you think they also want to have it and keep it and be looking at it? The eagerness to see, not eager to get it and spend, the eager to just see it, hold it, feel it, and just like what you have shown, people are expressing their own opinion on it. This one is good. That's just the main aim. But spending it, people want to be careful. Perhaps you must also remember that we are in December. January is coming, and by the time January comes, people want to pay school fee. That's another challenge that comes with this year. People want to be very, very careful.
Okay, how can one budget for the season?
Well, ideally, that's why people that have organized work have much more opportunity, because people that have organized work will start from January.
What do you mean by organized work?
Thank you. People that work in an office that earn salary, that have a specific amount they earn, because such people would have said every month I'll be keeping 5,000 naira, so that by the time it is December I have money to expend it. But people that do not have that will just want to just rush to get and expend like that, and that will have an effect by January. Like I said, January always comes with own challenge. In fact, people mostly say there is no money in January, and the fact just means that there is no a good plan for January. So everyone should try as much as possible to always see January as not bad, but January should be budgeted for special, because you may be paying house rents, you may be paying school fees, a lot of costs to really meet up.
Since you talked about that, how do you keep a low budget?
A low budget.
These things.
Well, as an economist, what I would advise is that you don't buy what you want, you only buy what you need. So anything that is not necessary, there's no point buying it. So you buy what you need that will help maybe food, shelter, those things that are very, very important. You have to shelve those ones that are not important. So you have to prioritize what you need in this season, so that at least you have a backup by January and February as it is.
Okay, do you see monetary policy and rising inflation affecting spending?
But definitely, the monetary policy may not that affect the spending, because if you look at this December, January is coming up with about two monetary policy. One, design of naira. Two, to reduce the level at which we can withdraw. If you look at these two things, it's coming at a point that even people are cautious rather of what they spend. It won't be it won't affect their spending. It will only raise their consciousness, because what will affect people's spending is the level at which they have the money. Like I said, people that do not budget for this period will definitely find it difficult to spend at this period.
Okay, but let's talk about January. What will it look like with all these fundamentals?
Well, because we have election coming, January will not be like the usual January, because there will be much more campaign. Possibly there will be little change in the economy, because campaign always come with spending. So by doing this spending, it will make people to have some money in their pockets. But if you look at the inflation, we'll carry on the inflation in December. That's what NBS is going to tell us by January. But I assure you it's going to be way high, because now food, there's cost push inflation that is going to reflect by January. But by February, the inflation may be coming down gradually.
But what should we do about that? Inflation, it keeps on going up. And up.
We have a structural,
like the monetary policy. Is it actually yielding the right effect?
If you ask me, controlling inflation is beyond monetary policy itself. A lot of things need to come into play.
I think we need to talk about
a lot of things need to come into play.
Tell us about
basically, it's cost push inflation, and that has to do with food. And when we say food is not only not to get the food, but the insecurity itself is the problem. And remember, we have flood recently.
Yeah.
It's going to have a ripple effect on the Nigeria economy over time. Maybe next 3 months, it's got that we are supposed to get some food, we are not getting it, and we need to cost push inflation. So we need to look at it structurally to make sure that most of our forex is another thing. Forex is getting better, but we must find a way to mitigate. And how do we do that? It's a long run thing, because we have to produce to compete. Not because most of our things, we are in a rent economy, that most of our things are not produced there. We take it outside to produce and bring in the finished goods. So this brings a lot of products. So we must look for short term, medium term, and long term solutions. So
let's talk about the short term.
We're looking at the short term. I watched recently what you showed about e-Naira, where CBN is partnering private sector when they are giving out loan. People now go through e-Naira. These are the things that can help people to really understand the policy itself, because when you come up with an incentive for Nigerians, they will see that yes, they are being considered, and they will key into the policy. So when we are bringing policy, we should look at incentive that will make people to key into it. Perhaps if it has human pace, people will definitely key into such a policy.
Okay, thank you very much, Aliu Elias. Thank you for coming to share.